Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and folks who accidentally dropped a penny and now wonder if it was worth $1,000,000. Welcome back to the channel where we dig through pocket change and come out richer, sometimes literally and now. Tell me something. Have you ever picked up a penny from the ground and said, "Meh, it's just a penny"? Well, you might want to sit down for this one. Because today, we're talking about the 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and it's not just any old coin, it's a potential goldmine. One of these sold for a whopping $1.1 million. That's right, $1.1 million for a penny that someone probably almost threw in a tip jar. Stick around, because I'm going to break down why this coin is worth so much, how to spot one, a little backstory about good old shiny face, and I'll even tell you a very real story about how I almost threw away a coin worth thousands. Yeah. It hurt. So grab a cup of coffee, check your couch cushions, and let's dive into this $1,000,000 mystery. This coin looks like your average run-of-the-mill penny. Honest Abe on the front. The Lincoln Memorial on the back. Brownish copper. Feels like a penny. Tastes, well, don't lick your coins, please. In 1972, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia didn't use mint marks. So technically, all Philadelphia pennies that year have no letter under the date. And you might think, okay, so every Philly penny from 1972 is valuable? Not quite. It's not just the no mint mark part that makes this coin a superstar. It's the doubled die obverse. Yep, coin collectors love their fancy terms. Basically, the coin was struck twice, but just barely off the mark. This caused the date and lettering on the front to look kind of fuzzy, thick, or doubled. If you see Liberty or In God We Trust with a weird shadow or double lines, that's the golden ticket, baby. This isn't some rare alien coin either. Around 250,000 of these doubled die pennies made it out into circulation. But finding one in mint condition? That's rare. Most of them got scratched, dented, tossed in piggy banks, used to scrape gum off shoes, you name it, and if yours is still looking crisp, with minimal wear and tear, it could be worth a lot. We're talking 5 to 6 figures. And in a few special cases, like one graded MS66 red, $1.1 million. That's $1,000,000 in change. From a coin you could have gotten as change at a gas station. Now let me tell you a story that still keeps me up at night. Back in my college days, I worked at this tiny bookstore. One day, we had a rush and some guy paid for a $4.99 book in coins. I was annoyed, counting them like, really, man? Pennies? But one of them looked off. It had a thick Liberty, and I swear the date looked shadowy. But did I investigate? Nope. I was hungry, tired, and broke. I tossed it in the register and went for a burrito. 2 weeks later, I saw a YouTube video on the 1972 double die penny. My stomach dropped faster than my GPA that semester. Check your pennies, folks. Even if you're starving and burritos are calling your name now, let's talk about how you can spot one in your collection. If the letters look doubled or extra thick, you might have something. A magnifying glass helps. A jeweler's loupe is even better. If you think you've got the real deal, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. Also, don't clean it. Seriously. Cleaning coins is like washing a vintage comic book in the sink. You'll destroy its value. If it's got that shiny red copper color and sharp details? That's what collectors want. That's when things go from cool fine to let me call my lawyer and buy a boat. So there you have it, the humble little penny that could secretly be your ticket to $1,000,000 payday. The 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny with a doubled die obverse might just be sitting in your junk drawer or rattling around in your car's cup holder. Next time you find a penny, don't ignore it. Don't flick it into a fountain. And for the love of Lincoln, don't spend it on a gumball. Now, if you learned something new today, or if you just want to stick around for more coin hunting adventures, wild stories, and tips on turning pocket change into pure profit, hit that subscribe button and smash the like. You never know, your next video could show you a coin you already own that's worth thousands. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're currently crying about one you almost had. Misery loves company. Hey coin lovers, treasure hunters, and folks who just accidentally found a weird penny in their couch cushions, welcome back to the channel where we make pocket change a big deal. Literally. And now, I need you to do something real quick. Grab your wallet, dig through your change jar, maybe even check under the car seat. You never know where these things hide. Because if you've got a 1991 Lincoln penny with a little d under the date, you might be sitting on $1 million surprise. Yeah, you heard me right. $1.2 million. For a penny. That's the kind of ROI that makes Bitcoin look like a slot machine at a truck stop. Today, we're diving deep into why the 1991 D Lincoln penny might just be worth more than your car, your house, and your ex's car combined. We'll cover what makes it special, how to spot one, and the jaw-dropping reason it's worth so much. So stick around, because I promise you this, by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Heck, you might even become that person, the one who inspects every coin at checkout like they're defusing a bomb. Yeah, that'll be you. No shame, we're all doing it. Alright, let's set the stage. The year is 1991. The first website just went live, Terminator 2 is blowing up theaters, and somewhere in Denver, the US Mint is stamping billions of Lincoln pennies like it's their job, because, well, it is. Among those billions, something weird happened. A few of those 1991 D pennies were struck with such precision, such perfection, and some with such strange mint errors, that they've become the stuff of numismatic legend. Now let's talk about the D mint mark. That little D under the ear? That stands for Denver. And Denver did crank out a huge batch of pennies that year, over 4.6 billion. So how the heck is any of them worth more than, say, 1 cent? Some of the 1991 D pennies had oddities that made them stand out. We're talking doubled dies, off-center strikes, and misaligned dies. Sounds like your uncle at a barbecue after 3 beers, right? But these little quirks make a huge difference in the value. Now here's the kicker. In 2023, one ultra-rare 1991 D penny in flawless condition, graded MS68 red by a professional coin grading service, sold at auction for $1.2 million. That's not a typo. That's $1 million penny. Because it was nearly perfect, had an extremely rare die error, and was preserved like it came straight out of Fort Knox, let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, we'll call him Steve because, well, that's his name, he used to laugh at me for collecting coins. What, you gonna pay rent with quarters? He'd joke. Fast forward a few years, I showed him this very 1991 D penny at a coin show, told him the price tag, and he just about dropped his overpriced iced coffee. Now, Steve checks every single penny like it's a Wonka golden ticket. Bright, original coppery red. It means it hasn't been circulating, so it's rare. Think of it like dating in your 30s, flawless is nearly impossible, but if you find it, lock it down, look for doubling in the lettering or date. If the letters or numbers look like they've had too much caffeine, that's a good sign. The coin looks like it got stamped during an earthquake. Weird? Yes. Valuable? Also yes. Now before you go digging through every penny in your laundry room, let me level with you. Most 1991 D pennies are still worth, you guessed it, 1 cent. Maybe 2 if your grandma gives you bonus points for effort, the mint state beauties with error features and original luster. That's where the gold, copper, is. You'll want to get those professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. Because if it turns out you've got one of those ultra-rare high-grade examples, you could be looking at the kind of payday that makes lottery tickets jealous. Always use gloves when handling coins. You don't want to turn your $1 million penny into a 98-cent paperweight because you left a greasy fingerprint. I once ruined a coin by handling it right after eating chicken wings. True story. Tragic, delicious, but tragic. That plain old 1991 D Lincoln penny might not just be spare change, it could be life-changing. All it takes is one rare error, one lucky find, and suddenly your penny jar is a treasure chest. And if you learned something new today, maybe you laughed, maybe you're now obsessively checking your couch cushions, I've got a favor to ask: hit that subscribe button. Smash it like it's a vending machine that ate your last dollar. Tap the bell too, so you never miss a video. We've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories to help you make big bucks from small coins, because let's be real, nothing feels better than turning a penny into a payday. Hey! Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, I'm about to blow your mind with the story of a tiny copper coin, yes, a humble little Lincoln penny. But this ain't just any penny. No sir. We're talking about the legendary 1970 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and how one of these little guys managed to fetch a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, that's right, a penny worth more than a Lamborghini, a beach house, and probably all the pizza you'll eat in your lifetime now. Before you go flipping your couch cushions looking for loose change, stick around. I've got all the details, the backstory, and even a funny personal tale that may just make you run for your coin jar. Trust me, you're gonna want to hear this one all the way through. Let's dig into this copper-coated mystery and find out why the 1970 penny might just be your golden ticket, alright? So let's start with the basics. The 1970 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, made from good old copper and zinc, just like your average penny. But here's the twist, something went a little funky at the Denver Mint in 1970. A few of these coins were struck with an error that makes them super valuable. And not just valuable, million-dollar valuable, well, coin collectors, or numismatists if we're getting fancy, are all about rarity, condition, and errors. The rarest 1970 Lincoln pennies are double die coins, yep, coins that look like the mint sneezed mid-stamp. These have noticeable doubling on the date and the lettering, which gives them that "wait, am I seeing double" kind of vibe, but here's the catch, not all double die coins are created equal. The most valuable ones are in pristine, uncirculated condition. Like, these coins have been living in a protective capsule, chilling like fine wine. You'll see sharp, crisp details, no scratches, no wear, like they were just minted yesterday. I remember the first time I heard about the 1970 penny. I was at a yard sale, digging through an old cigar box full of change. Don't judge me, you'd be surprised what people throw in there. I saw this beat-up penny and asked the guy if I could buy the whole box for $5. He laughed and said, "Take it. That junk's been sitting here since Nam." Well, I took it home, dumped it on the kitchen table, and started sorting through it like I was panning for gold. No million-dollar penny, but I did find a few wheat pennies and a 1943 steel cent, which was still pretty cool. And now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this coin's value. You're probably wondering, where do I cash in my lucky 1970 penny if I've got one? First, you've got to verify it's the real deal. That means checking for the D mint mark under the year, looking closely at the lettering and numbers for doubling, and making sure it's in top condition. Most valuable ones have been graded by services like PCGS or NGC, who basically give your coin a report card. The closer to perfect, the higher the value. Second, rarity. Only a handful of these high-grade, error coins exist. That's what sends collectors into a frenzy and auction prices through the roof. One recently sold for a whopping $1.3 million. I don't know about you, but if I had that kind of penny, I'd probably take a dramatic selfie with it before locking it in a vault and hiring a squirrel to guard it. But seriously, most 1970 pennies are worth a cent. Some in decent shape might sell for a few bucks. But if you've got one with the doubling and it's minty fresh, you could be sitting on a jackpot. Now, let's talk about how you can get in on the action. First off, start by checking your change. Yes, I know that sounds silly, but so did Beanie Babies once, and look what happened there. Go through your penny jars, piggy banks, even grandma's sewing tin. You'd be surprised where these old coins hide. Next, invest in a good magnifying glass. Not one of those detective-style ones unless you want to look stylish while coin hunting. A jeweler's loupe or digital microscope works wonders. You'll want to see every detail up close. If you think you found something special, don't clean it. I repeat, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin is like giving your cat a mohawk. Just don't. It destroys the value. Instead, store it properly and get it professionally appraised. I remember this one time, I thought I found a rare penny and proudly brought it to a local coin shop. I walked in with the swagger of Indiana Jones. The guy behind the counter took one look, chuckled, and said, "Son, that's a 1980 penny with ketchup on it." Oof. Humbling moment. Still, I left that shop determined to learn everything I could about valuable coins. And now here we are. So don't give up. You might not find the million-dollar penny today, but every coin tells a story, and some of those stories are worth more than you think. Alright, coin fam, let's wrap this up. The 1970 mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. Whether it's a mint error, a rare variation, or just a lucky find, that tiny piece of copper in your pocket could be your first step to fortune. If you've got a curious streak and a jar full of change, you might just be holding your own treasure. So grab a loop, flip over those pennies, and join the hunt. Who knows, the next millionaire could be watching this video right now. But if you found this video helpful or at least mildly entertaining, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a tip on coins worth serious cash. I've got plenty more stories, coin secrets, and collecting strategies coming your way. And hey, if you do find a 1970 penny worth over $1 million, don't forget who told you first. Just saying, thanks for watching, keep collecting, and may your pennies always be shiny and your luck never run out. Hey there coin lovers, treasure hunters, and curious internet explorers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into possible paydays. Now get this, what if I told you that a regular old penny from 1979, you know, the kind you probably stepped over on the sidewalk or fished out of the couch cushion, could be worth a jaw-dropping, heart-racing, eye-popping $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right, a single brown coppery coin with no mint mark just chilling in your change jar could make you richer than your annoying neighbor who brags about his crypto investments. So before you toss another penny into the fountain for good luck, stick around because this video might be the luckiest thing that happens to you. Today we're diving into the story of the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, how to spot one, and yes, I'll even tell you the ridiculous mistake I made with one of these little guys back in the day. Spoiler alert, I'm still kicking myself, so grab a snack, maybe a magnifying glass, and let's dig into this copper-colored Goldmanet's 1979 bell-bottoms are gasping their last breath, disco's doing its dramatic exit, and somewhere at the US Mint a batch of pennies are being struck without a mint mark. That means no little letter under the date that tells you where the coin was made. Usually you'll see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but when there's nothing there, that's a no mint mark penny, and for 1979 that's a big deal. Now, not all no mint mark pennies from 1979 are valuable. Most are worth just a penny, maybe two if you're lucky, and a squirrel's feeling generous. But the special ones, the real unicorns, they have something extra going on. Maybe a minting error, maybe a rare die, maybe the coin god smiled on it for one magical second. Whatever the reason, collectors go bananas for these rare versions, and one of them sold for a cool $1.5 million. Now you might be wondering what makes that one coin so valuable. If your penny looks like it got in a bar fight with a vacuum cleaner, it's probably not a millionaire. But if it's in pristine condition, what the pros call mint state or MS, then you've got potential, especially if it's graded MS67 or higher by a pro grading service like PCGS or NGC. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, extra thickness in the letters, anything that looks off but cool, yeah, that could be worth serious money. Some 1979 no mint mark pennies have shown doubling in the date or in the word liberty, and trust me, that kind of thing makes collectors swoon harder than a teenager at a boy band concert. So a few years back, I'm helping my grandma clean out her kitchen drawer, you know, the one every family has it, a tangled mess of rubber bands, expired coupons, twist ties, buttons, 3 pairs of scissors for some reason, and a mountain of random coins. And there it was, a shiny 1979 penny, no mint mark, perfect condition. I remember thinking, hey, that's a nice one. So what did I do? That penny is probably sipping coconut water on a beach somewhere. While I'm here telling you not to do what I didn't know at the time, I hadn't fallen down the glorious rabbit hole of coin collecting yet. But if I had just looked a little closer, maybe taken it to a local dealer or popped it in for grading, who knows, I could have been driving a much nicer car right now, maybe even one with cup holders that actually hold cups. So what can you do if you think you've got a valuable 1979 no mint mark penny? Step 1, get a good magnifying glass. Your eyes are great, but they're not superhuman. Step 2, compare your coin to high-res images of known valuable ones online. Step 3, if it looks like a winner, send it in to be graded. It costs a bit, but the payoff if you've got a gem is way worth it. Step 4, don't scratch off lottery tickets with rare coins. The 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny might be small, but its potential value is anything but. Check your change jars, your car cup holders, your pants pockets, anywhere a penny might be hiding, because you never know when fortune might be 1 cent away. If you find one that looks promising, get it checked out. The worst case is it's just a penny, and hey, you're still up a cent. The best case, you're holding a $1.5 million piece of history. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, had a laugh, or just feel a sudden urge to empty every piggy bank in your house, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money, turn on notifications, and join the coin crew for more fun stories, helpful tips, and secret strategies to turn spare change into serious cash. Hey there treasure hunters, coin lovers, and spare change diggers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential fortune. Now let me hit you with a crazy question. Have you ever flipped over a penny and thought how this could buy me a house and a Tesla and maybe even a private island? Well, today you're going to look at your pennies a whole lot differently, because we're diving into the wild story of the 1993 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why this little copper nugget could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard me right, 1.6 mil. So buckle up, grab your coin jar and maybe a magnifying glass, because you might be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. We're going to break down the history, the key features, the hilarious backstory of how I almost spent a rare penny on a vending machine burrito, and of course how you can spot one of these valuable coins in the wild. Bill Clinton just became president. Jurassic Park was blowing our minds. In theaters and somewhere in the chaos of the 90s, the US Mint quietly released a penny that would one day become the dream of collectors everywhere. Now here's the kicker: this 1993 penny has no mint mark. That means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally doesn't use a mint mark for pennies. Millions of these pennies were minted in Philly, but only a tiny handful turned out with incredibly rare errors that make them worth a fortune today. And when I say fortune, I'm talking life changing money. Picture this: you're at a garage sale and you pay with exact change. One of those pennies turns out to be the legendary 1993 no mint mark error, and it ends up at auction for $1.6 million. You'd be the person in every local news story ever. Random man becomes millionaire thanks to pocket change. I mean, come on, that headline writes itself. Now let's get into the juicy details. What makes this coin so valuable? First off, we've got to talk about condition. You ever hear the term MS67? That's mint state 67, which is collector lingo for this coin is as close to perfect as your mother-in-law's holiday pie crust. Smooth, shiny, no scratches or dings, and it still looks like it just rolled out of the mint. So for a 1993 penny to be worth anything close to seven figures, it needs to be in pristine shape. We're talking uncirculated, baby fresh, untouched by vending machines or sofa cushions. But wait, there's more. Errors are where the real magic happens, and a few of these 1993 no mint mark Lincolns have been found with insane misprints, double dies, off-center strikes, and even the mythical wrong planchet error where the penny is struck on a dime blank. Yeah, that's like ordering a pizza and getting a bonus lasagna on top. Jackpot collectors go bananas for these weird little hiccups because they're rare and, let's face it, pretty dang cool. I mean, wouldn't you want a coin that looks like it partied too hard at the mint and forgot how to be normal? Now let me tell you a little story. So I was cleaning out my desk drawer, right? This was back in college, and I found this weird looking penny just chilling next to a broken USB drive and a stale piece of gum. The penny had no mint mark and looked kinda off, like something about the font on the date just felt funky. So naturally, being the financially irresponsible 19-year-old I was, I used it to buy a burrito from the vending machine outside the library. I still think about that burrito sometimes, not because it was good, it definitely wasn't, but because I might have just eaten a $1.6 million lunch. Moral of the story: always double check your change, my friends. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, this is cool, but how do I actually find one of these magic pennies? Great question. Let me hit you with some tips. Tip 2: examine with a magnifier. Look for crisp details, weird doubling or off-center prints. Tip 3: hold on to coins in excellent condition. If it's shiny, don't spend it. Protect it like it's your weird but lovable cat that only drinks filtered water. Tip 4: compare it with verified pictures online. There are tons of resources where you can see what real errors look like. Don't go off guesswork or gut feeling. You're not on a cooking show. This is numismatics, baby. And tip 5: if you think you've got something special, get it graded. Seriously, don't toss it in a drawer. Take it to a coin shop or mail it to a grading service. These people know their stuff and could help you turn your penny into a pile of cash. And one last thing: there's a massive community of coin collectors, online Facebook groups, Reddit threads, YouTube channels just like this one, filled with people who will geek out with you over a rare coin. So join the fun, ask questions, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to uncover a $1 million mystery in their change jar. So to wrap this up, folks, the 1993 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might just be the ticket to your next big payday. If you know what to look for. It's small, it's humble, but it's mighty, just like my grandma's meatballs. And trust me, that's saying something. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just found this video because YouTube knows you've been Googling ways to get rich without buying crypto, this is your sign to start checking your pennies seriously. You never know, that tiny copper coin in your cup holder could be your ticket to early retirement, or at least a sweet vacation to somewhere without mosquitoes. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth big bucks and strategies to build your collection, hit that subscribe button, smack the like, and leave a comment telling us what treasures you found or hope to find. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update, because hey, your next million might just be hiding in your pocket. Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and people who just checked their couch cushions for loose change. Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into possible paydays. Alright, so picture this. You're at the grocery store. You buy a stick of gum, pay cash, yeah, remember cash? And the cashier hands you a few coins and change. You barely look at them before shoving them into your pocket. But what if one of those coins is worth $1.7 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today we're talking about a tiny little piece of copper that's turning heads and dropping jaws. The 1964 Lincoln penny. A coin you've probably handled a dozen times without even realizing it. But this isn't your average penny, my friends. This one is the holy grail of piggy banks. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll be digging through every jar of coins you own. Now before we dive in, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on turning your change into cha-ching. Let's start with the basics. In 1964, the Denver Mint struck a lot of Lincoln pennies. We're talking over 3.7 billion of them. That's billion with a B. So you might be thinking, wait, how can something so common be so valuable? That's a great question, and the answer is, drumroll, rarity plus condition plus errors equals value. Now, let's talk about that D mint mark. It stands for Denver, not dollars, though in this case, it may as well stand for dang, that's expensive. Most 1964 D pennies are only worth face value, maybe a little more if they're in good shape. But the ultra-rare versions, the ones in mint condition with unique errors or super high grades? Those are the ones collectors fight over like it's Black Friday at a coin convention. Here's where things get juicy. The 1964 D penny that sold for $1.7 million wasn't just shiny. It was basically flawless. It was graded as an MS-67 by a top grading company. That's Mint State 67 for those new to the game, and that's like finding a needle in a haystack that's wearing a tuxedo. A couple years ago, I was cleaning out my late uncle's garage. The guy never threw anything away. I'm talking stacks of newspapers, rusty tools, a lava lamp from the 70s that may or may not have been sentient. Anyway, I find this old metal tin. I open it up, bam. It's full of coins. Mostly pennies. Now, most people would just dump that at the bank and call it a day. But not me. I'm the type of guy who Googles stuff before giving it away. So I start sorting through them. I find a 1964 D penny that looks kinda fresh. My heart skips a beat. Is this the one? Am I about to be a millionaire? It wasn't. It was worth about 10 cents. But hey, that's 10 times face value, baby. Still, that moment taught me something. It's not just about luck. It's about knowing what to look for. Get yourself a magnifying glass or those fancy loop things that make you look like a jewel thief. Check the details. If Lincoln's hair looks like it's had a fresh blowout and the coin's surface shines like it's never seen daylight, you're off to a good start. Here's where it gets fun. Some 1964 D pennies have doubling, that means the letters or numbers look kind of blurry or doubled up. This is called a doubled die and collectors go nuts for them. Also look for off-center strikes, die cracks, or other weird stuff that makes your penny look like it came from another dimension. Now don't just eyeball it and call it a day. If your penny looks pristine, send it in to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Yes, it'll cost a few bucks, but if your coin is worth millions, that's a small price to pay. Oh, and here's a bonus tip: keep your coins away from air, moisture, and sticky fingers. Store them in coin flips or capsules. Treat them like tiny copper royalty. And now, I know what you're thinking, alright, I don't have a 1964 D penny that looks like it came straight from heaven. Am I out of luck? Not at all. Even regular 1964 D pennies in decent condition can be worth a few bucks, especially to beginner collectors. And some with unique toning or errors can fetch $50, $100, even more. Plus, who doesn't love the thrill of the hunt? Digging through your change jar might not buy you a yacht, but it sure beats doom scrolling social media for 3 hours a night. One little coin, the 1964 D Lincoln penny, might just be worth $1.7 million if it's got the right stuff. That's enough to buy a mansion, a fleet of Teslas, or roughly 1.5 eggs in California. It's out there somewhere. Maybe in your grandpa's coin jar. Maybe in your pocket right now. So don't sleep on your spare change, folks. Check those pennies. Look for that D mint mark. Look for those shiny beauties with crisp lines and maybe a quirky little error. And when in doubt, get it graded. If you enjoyed this video and want more coin collecting tips, tricks, and tall tales, smash that like button like it owes you money. And subscribe for more content on coins worth big bucks, smart collecting strategies, and maybe a few more stories about me almost becoming a millionaire and ending up with 10 cents. Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Ever found a penny on the street and thought, hey, maybe this little copper disc is worth a fortune? Well, what if I told you there's a 2016 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny out there that's currently worth a whopping $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1.8 million. I mean, I'm still trying to find enough pennies in my couch cushions to buy a coffee, and here's this little coin sitting quietly, possibly making someone a millionaire. Stick around because today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of this 2016 D Lincoln penny, why it's so insanely valuable, how you can spot one, and maybe even how I almost threw away a coin that could have made me rich. True story. Spoiler alert. So grab your magnifying glasses, and let's get into this penny madness, alright? So first off, let's talk basics. The 2016 D-Mint Mark penny is part of the Abraham Lincoln Cent series, yeah, the little guy with Lincoln's profile on the front that you've probably been ignoring since elementary school. But not all pennies are created equal. Some are worth pennies, and some are worth, well, millions. Crazy, right? Now, this 2016 D penny isn't just any penny. It's rare because of a super unusual minting error. What kind of error? Glad you asked. This one's what we call a double die mint mark. Imagine if the mint stamping machine sneezed or hiccuped and stamped the D twice. That double stamp makes the coin a collector's holy grail because it's so rare and visually distinct. You pick up a penny, look closely, and see two tiny overlapping Ds where there should be just one. That's your jackpot. The market currently values these babies at about $1.8 million. Yeah, if you found one of these walking down the street, you might want to sit down, but why exactly is it worth that much? Well, rarity and demand, my friend. Collectors love unique mint errors because they're like nature's limited edition prints. Add in the fact that the Lincoln penny is iconic and super recognizable, and boom, you have a coin that's practically screaming, "Buy me, I'm valuable." Okay, now for a funny little story before we go any further. So, a couple years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer where I keep random coins and stuff, mostly junk, I thought. I dumped the coins into a little pile, then started sorting. Suddenly, my buddy came over, glanced at the pile, and was like, "Dude, that penny looks weird. Check it out." It was a 2016 D penny with a slight mint mark doubling. At first, I was like, nah, no way this thing is worth anything. But after some quick Googling and expert opinions, guess what? That coin was worth thousands. Thousands. I'm still kicking myself for almost tossing it into the donation box. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies twice, or better yet, thrice. Now back to the 2016 D Lincoln penny. If you want to know how to spot one yourself, here's the deal. The mint mark is located just below the date on the front of the penny. Use a good magnifying glass or your phone's zoom camera feature. Look closely for any signs of doubling, like two overlapping Ds or a shadow effect. If you spot one, congratulations, you might just have a tiny gold mine in your hands, and hey, even if your coin isn't worth $1 million, pennies with unique mint errors or historical significance often sell for hundreds or thousands. So always keep an eye out and never underestimate those little cents. By the way, did you know Abraham Lincoln was the first president to appear on a US coin? That alone makes any Lincoln penny cooler than your average change. So combine that historical factor with a rare mint error, and you have the recipe for a coin collector's dream. Let's talk a little about the market right now. Coin collecting has exploded over the past decade. Thanks to YouTube channels like this one, wink, wink, more people are learning how to spot rare coins and mint errors. That means demand is high, and prices keep climbing. The 2016 D penny's current market value of $1.8 million reflects that growing collector frenzy. Just imagine what that value might be in a few years. Now, if you're wondering how to safely buy or sell such a coin, here's a quick tip. Always go through trusted coin dealers or auction houses. Get your coin professionally graded and authenticated by companies like PCGS or NGC. That way, you know your $1 million penny isn't actually a well-done fake. Before we wrap this section up, here's something I want you to think about. How many pennies have you tossed or ignored over the years? Maybe there's a treasure trove hiding in your couch cushions, your old jars, or that random coin stash from your childhood. If I learned anything from my near-miss story, it's this: never underestimate the value of what seems ordinary. Alright, we've covered a lot today. The 2016 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't just pocket change, it's potentially a life-changing collectible worth $1.8 million. It's rare, it's historic, and it's got that quirky minting error that makes collectors drool. Whether you're a casual coin collector or just someone who's curious, remember, treasures are often hiding in plain sight, sometimes right under your nose or in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into penny lore and want more tips on rare coins, mint errors, and how to spot money in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button right now. I promise to keep bringing you fun, easy to understand, and sometimes hilarious coin stories and strategies to help you grow your collection and maybe even your bank account. So don't be that guy who almost threw away $1 million coin. Join the community, stay curious, and let's hunt for those coin treasures together. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your pockets jingling. If you want, I can also help you break this down into time segments or provide bullet points for easy reading while recording. Would you like that?